Horse. What is real? Is it having something to buzz inside and a stick-out handle? And the skin horse says, real isn't something that you're made of. Real is something that happens to you. When a child loves you, really loves you, not just to play with, but really loves you. The rabbit said, does it hurt? And the skin horse said, yeah, it does hurt sometimes. But he was always truthful. He said, when you're real, you don't mind being hurt. The rabbit said, does it happen all at once, like being wound up, or just bit by bit? The skin horse, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens over time. When you allow yourself to be loved. And that's why it doesn't happen to people that break easily or who have sharp edges or who are easily broken or who have to be carefully kept. Because after you're real, and usually after you're real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes kind of droop out, you get kind of loose in the joints, and you look kind of shabby. But that stuff doesn't matter because those who are real can't be ugly, except for those who don't understand. And then the rabbit said, I suppose you were real. And then he felt kind of bad because he didn't want to feel the skin horse might be sensitive. And the skin horse just smiled and he said, the boy uncle made me real many years ago. But once you're real, you can't become unreal again because it lasts for always. So back at the swimming pool, my makeup is now about here on my chin. And what I realized in that moment was, what was the skin horse trying to tell me about being real? That being real was something that happened over time. It was about letting somebody love you, really love you. You know, as I say in my favorite saying in Alcoholics Anonymous is that we're going to love you until you can love yourself. And that's what we do here in Unity, is that we want you to know that Christ is within, and you've been lovable all the time. And I hope that's the message that you hear here every week. And that love, being loved, and being real can hurt. I remember I asked somebody, once one of my friends, I said, and he said to me, how do you think you can get in any kind of relationship and not get hurt? I said, well, I was kind of hoping so. But you know, hurt is part of the gig. You know, when you let yourself love and you let someone love you, there's hurt because we're growing in the love that we are. And it does take time. It does grow over time. And that being real is when you get kind of loose in the joints and your eyes fall out, you get love and your hair comes out. I'm going to metaphysically interpret the skin horse at this point, that it is really understanding that being real is an inside job. It's an inside job. And so when you know who you are on the inside, the outside just takes care of itself. Do you notice that when people feel real and feel good about themselves, they glow? And then you do all those things naturally that are taking care of yourself. You take care of your body, you eat right, because you know you're valuable, you're real. Recovering your real emotional life. So strangely enough, we had another 2 weeks to go, and after I realized and got that real sense of me, I was able to go around and do what they needed me to do in training, because I knew who I was, and it was a choice to do the things they asked me to do. And my flight attendant friends asked me to be the keynote speaker of our group, of our graduating class. And I said, isn't it interesting we've been trained to do all these things, evacuate the plane, put out fires, and don these oxygen masks and do all these things. But what we're really going to probably end up doing is serving Coke and Sprite and chicken. But isn't it, if we get that we're coming to this as real people that just love this job and love people and want to travel. So can we bring that realness to this work? And people laughed and cried, and when I would fly with these people in future trips, we looked at each other and we were like, we know about this. We know it's about a real thing. So life keeps wanting us, again, to move from imposter to real. There's going to be tears, there's going to be recognizing that you get hurt, there's going to really be recognizing that it's not going to look pretty a lot. And then life will continue to invite you into greater levels of living. My final story, we all have some kind of story about who we are. We have some kind of a thing that we've learned, and we have to unlearn often as we're playing this utmost joy, getting the utmost joy of playing our part. And I had a final story of, we're often uncovering that story of our family. Some of us were the good child, some of us were the rebels, some of us were the quiet one, some of us were the ones that just felt alone and strange all the time. And so we get invited back. First of all, you get invited into this family to just be who you are. And about a year ago, my Uncle Alan passed away. And my Aunt Pat called me, and I just talked to her. I thought she was calling me just and I said, I'm so sorry about Uncle Alan. He's such a wonderful man, and I just want you to know that I send you my love and support. And she said, "Hi, yes, thank you." She said, "But I'm really calling to ask you to come do the memorial service." And I said, "Well, sure." And I worked here in Unity to say yes. And so I said, "Sure." And I hung up the phone, and my imposter got really busy. "Heidi, you're the rebel. You're the one that, went off to that Unity church. Who knows what they believe? I mean, they seem so happy all the time. Look at the rules of that church. And how are you going to fit into all these people? You don't even know their background, and the whole family's going to be there. How's that going to be?" But I was realizing that life was inviting me to move from imposter to real. And I flew to Denver, and when I was in that room, they put you in the minister's room to sort of reflect on your service. And as I was in that room, what was I reflecting on? I was usually the one in the principal's office. Right? I was usually the one that you ran the car into the side of the garage again. I was the one that woke up from alcoholism by being in a jail cell after drinking and driving. That was 25 years ago, y'all. So it wasn't last week. But I recognized as I was sitting in that room, my imposter really wanted to take hold. My imposter really wanted me to play small and not understand that I was being asked to move to real. And what these people needed for me was for me to know myself, for me to see myself, for me to love myself. They needed me to be real. That's what they had asked me to come and do. And when I went out there and stood at that pulpit and looked at 200 plus people, a lot of them looked like me, I recognized and I reflected on all the people that I'd let love me so I could be there for those people. And I knew that with this Unity Memorial Service that everyone, race, creed, belief, doctrine, was going to get this message of love. And I recognized that I'd been called to be real, that imposter didn't have any place there, and that this message, I believe, and I know, is an inspiration for everyone, that is what I was being called to do. So my question this morning for all of us is, can we let go of that imposter and be real? That we're being asked all the time to let go and let God that's within you shine very brightly. Rabbi Zuzah said that on Judgment Day, God will not ask you, "Why weren't you Moses?" He'll ask you, "Why weren't you Zuzah?" So I invite us all, and I'd like you to reflect on this. Will the real you please stand up? And if you'd like to embrace that real you, please stand up. I'd like you to put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I am committed to recover my emotional and authentic life. Thank you, God. So let us be in that place of recovery that wants to be known within all of us. And we'll sing together, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place," and know that surely the presence of that real and beautiful being right